welcome to the One at Liberty virtual studio. In today's tutorial, we'll be exploring the hips and getting into pigeon pose. For today's session, all you will need is a yoga mat, blocks, and a yoga strap. If you don't have a strap, don't worry, you can use a belt. If you have a head wrap or a long piece of cloth about arm's length, that should do the trick just fine. All right, so we'll start seated today. You can sit cross-legged or on your shins, whichever you prefer. Start by drawing the low belly in, lift your chest, bring your shoulders back and down, and then gently rest your palms on your knees or in your lap. You close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Gently open your eyes. Right, place your hands behind you on the mat, uncross your legs, place the soles of your feet on the mat, and bend your knees. You will gently take both knees down to the right, and then return to center, and over to the left. Okay, take your time here, moving nice and slow, letting both knees come as close to the ground as they can on either side. And then bring the knees to center. All right, from here, we'll bring the soles of the feet to touch. The knees move out wide. Okay, you can grab onto your feet with your hands, or if you have your strap, belt, cloth, whatever it is, you're gonna find just about the center. Okay, place it under the feet, pull the strap in, lift your chest. This helps you to sit up straight, and then you can gently press your knees closer to the floor, opening the hips up. All right, take a deep breath in and slowly release. Keep the elbows tucked in nice and close to the side body. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, press your knees a little bit closer to the floor. All right, one more breath here. Inhale. Then as you exhale, forward fold. You'll release the strap. You let your hands come forward, drop your head. Just round your upper back for a moment. And then slowly sit up. All right, move the strap to one side. Gently bring the knees together, soles of your feet on the mat. All right, inhale, lift your chest, reach your arms forward. Okay, then as you exhale, place your hands on the mat. You will windshield wiper the knees one more time. Place your hands behind you. Deep breath in, lift your chest. Exhale, knees come down to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Remember, bringing the knees as close to the floor as you can manage. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. And then slowly bring the knees to center once more. Right, bring the soles of the feet to touch. Knees come out wide. And you can either grab onto the toes with your hands or grab your strap once more. Place it under the feet. Pull the elbows in nice and tight next to the side body. Lift your chest. And then as you exhale, knees might be up here. Try to press them a little bit closer to the floor. Okay. If it's more comfortable, you can adjust by holding on to the straps this way. Okay. Whatever feels best for you. Inhale, lift your chest. Okay. As you exhale, try to relax the hips so that the knees fall closer to the mat. All right, one more breath in. And slowly release. All right, put the strap to one side for a moment. Bring the knees together. Come onto one side and then to all fours. From here, we'll start on the left side. Step your left foot forward, right knee is down. You can take your right knee a little bit further back. Once you're steady, inhale, reach both arms up overhead, lift your chest. As you exhale, soften the hips and shift forward and down into a low lunge. Okay, don't worry about getting too deep into the pose just yet. Inhale, reach up. As you exhale, release your hands down to the floor. Transfer the weight to the right palm. Inhale, reach your left arm up overhead. Open up the chest to the left. Take your gaze up to the left hand. Then exhale, take the left hand down. Inhale, reach both arms up overhead, palms face each other. Exhale, lunge. Inhale, lift. Exhale, bring both hands down to the mat. Okay, from here, bring both hands to the inside of your left foot. Walk your left foot over to the left edge of the mat. Now, this is pretty deep for your hip flexor. You can stay right here up on your hands. Otherwise, you can come down to the forearms. If coming down to your forearms feels like it's a little bit too much, you can grab your blocks and place them under the forearms instead, just to give you a little bit of height in between. Okay. What that looks like with the block. Okay. You can bring the forearm to the block instead. Perfectly fine. All right. So you'll come down. You draw the low belly in. As you exhale, soften the hip. If you'd like to take it a bit deeper on your next breath, tuck your right toes, pick your right knee up off the mat, press your right heel back. Keep pulling the low belly in. Left knee is lined up above the ankle, it's not falling in or out. Inhale. And exhale, slowly lower the right knee down. Place the top of the right foot on the mat. Slowly come up to your palms once more. Now from here, setting up for pigeon, we'll walk the left foot over to the right side of the mat. Okay? Now, flex your foot so that your toes point towards your knee. And then slowly bring the knee down. Okay, keep in mind, well, one, you might not do it in one smooth motion, and that's fine. Okay, two, the more parallel the shin is to the front edge of the mat, the more intense the pose. So if I take my heel in a little bit more towards my groin, it becomes more accessible. I can bring my hips closer to the mat. Okay, so don't worry so much about how high up your hips are off the ground. Just think about how intense the sensation is in the hip and whether you can breathe through it. Okay, so keep the left foot flexed. If you'd like, you can come down to the forearms or return to the block. Okay, the key is to keep the hips square. So what I mean is the hips are level, parallel to the mat. You're not sinking down to the left or to the right. See, the hips are centered. The top of the right foot is pressed into the floor, toes pointing back. Okay, they're not turned in a sickle shape. Take a few deep breaths. If you have knee injuries, this might be a little bit too intense for you. We will explore a variation of pigeon on the back in a few moments. Our hips usually take quite a bit of time to open up, so we'll be here for a few breaths. Stay with it. Try to relax a little bit more with every exhale. If after a few breaths you feel like you can move a bit more deeply, tuck your toes, inch the right knee back, or you can shift the left foot forward so that your shin becomes more parallel to the front edge of the mat. We'll take one more breath here. And then slowly come up onto your palms, if you're on your forearms. Tuck your right toes, inch the right knee in slowly. Then you're going to press into the mat, lift the left knee up, and step back so that you're on all fours. Just for a moment. Okay, then we're going to shift the hips from side to side. And we'll take the left leg back, press the left toes into the floor, press the left heel back. And then release the left knee down. Same thing on the right. Tuck the right toes, press the right heel back. And then bring right knee down. We'll take child's pose for 3 breaths. Take your knees wide, about mat width or even slightly wider. Point your toes in towards each other. Press your hips back towards your heels. And then reach your arms out in front of you as you lay your forehead down. If you're still feeling a bit of residual tension in the hips, feel free to shift gently from side to side for the first few moments. And then find stillness as you press your hips towards your heels. We'll take one more breath and slowly come up. Alright, so we're going to repeat that sequence on the right. Bring the right knee forward, left knee is down. We're setting up for our low lunge. Alright, if you have sensitive knees, you can either double up the mat or place a towel or a blanket underneath the left knee just to give yourself a little bit more cushion. Okay, once you're steady, inhale, reach both arms up, lift your chest. Then as you exhale, gently lunge, shifting the hips forward and down. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, soften the hips, let them sink a little bit closer to the ground. And slowly release your hands down. And transfer your weight into your left palm. On the inhale, reach your right arm up overhead, turn your torso to the right. Take your gaze up towards your right hand. Then as you exhale, slowly take the right hand down. Here, bring both hands to the inside of your right foot. Walk your right foot over to the right edge of the mat. And slowly come down to your forearms. Again, if it feels like too much to come down to your forearms, grab the block, place the forearms on the block instead. Right, if that still feels like it's too much, perfectly fine to keep your arms straight, hands pressing into the floor, or pressing into a block if you need to. If you have multiple blocks, feel free to stack them so that you can lift your chest just a little bit higher. Okay? If you're on your forearms, relax the hips so they can sink a little bit closer to the ground. You tuck your left toes if you'd like to move deeper and start to inch your left knee back. You can also try picking the left knee up off the floor and pressing the left heel back. Pull the low belly in. Straighten the knee just a little bit more. And one more breath with the knee lifted. And then slowly lower. Place the top of your left foot on the mat. You slowly come up to your palms. And now we'll set up a pigeon on the right. So walk your right foot over to the left edge of the mat. Slowly bring the right knee down. Again, keeping in mind if your shin is parallel to the front edge of the mat, it's going to be a lot more intense on the hip. So you can pull your heel in towards you. Okay. Tuck your left toes, inch your hips back. And get as close to the ground as you can. It doesn't matter if your hip is pretty high off the ground. If you feel like you're straining to keep your hip lifted, you can always grab the block, place it under the hip, or fold up a towel or a blanket and place it there for some support. Okay. Now once you're steady, remember we want the hips square, so we're not collapsing into the right or into the left. Centered. The top of the left foot points straight back. And you can come down to your forearms. Or if you'd like, you can extend your arms straight out in front of you. You lay your forehead down. We'll stay here for a few breaths. With every exhale, try to soften any tension you might still be holding in the glutes. Giving the hips a moment to open up. Take one more breath here. And at the end of your exhale, slowly walk your hands down. Okay, tuck the left toes, inch the left foot forward. Okay, press into the mat, lift your right knee up, and for a moment return to all fours. Okay, shift the hips from side to side. Then we'll take child's pose, knees wide, point your toes towards each other. Press your hips back towards your heels and lay your forehead down. Spread your fingers wide, press your palms into the mat. You pull your belly in and press your hips down towards your heels on your exhale. At the end of your next exhale, look forward. Walk your hands over to the right. Take them over to the right as far as you can. They might come off of the mat, that's fine. Press your palms into the floor. Pull your hips back so you should feel the stretch along the left side of the body this time. And look forward, walk your hands to the center. And then over to the left. You place your forehead down, pull your hips back. And this time the sensation should be mostly on the right side of the body. And look forward, walk your hands to the center. And then come up to all fours. So we'll also explore a variation of pigeon on the back. This tends to be more accessible, especially if you have knee injuries, your hips are particularly tight. Always handy to know this version. So sit on your mat. Extend your legs straight out in front of you. Actually bend your knees. Soles of your feet on the mat. Make sure there's enough space behind you to lay back comfortably. All right, inhale, lift your chest. Palms face each other. As you exhale, slowly lower. Keep your head and shoulders touch the mat. All right, walk your heels in towards your hips. Extend your arms beside you, palms facing down. From here, take your right ankle, place it just above the left knee. Flex your foot, okay, so your toes are pointing towards your right knee. Take your right hand, press your right knee away from you. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, press the right knee away from you. Okay, so you should notice the sensation is quite similar to when we did pigeon on the mat. Okay, in this variation, instead of having the weight on our knees, we're on our back, and we're using the hand to press the knee away from us to open up the hip. Okay, with every exhale, see if you can press the knee a little bit further away from you. Slowly release, taking the right foot down, and we'll repeat the same thing on the left. So take the left ankle, place it just above the right knee. Use your left hand, press your left knee away from you. You take a deep breath in. Exhale, press. Inhale. Exhale. Slowly release the left knee. Place the sole of your left foot on the mat. From here, take your knees out wide, bring the soles of the feet to touch, and rest your hands on your belly or on your inner thighs, whichever you prefer. Okay. Keep in mind the closer your heels are in towards your groin, the more intense the stretch. The further your heels are away from you, the less intense. So you can experiment with different foot positions and see what feels best. Okay, take a deep breath in. As you exhale, gently press the knees a little bit closer to the floor. They might not move much, that's okay. And try your best to relax the glutes. Sometimes the tendency is to clench, discomfort. Do your best to relax into the pose. And let gravity gently guide your knees down towards the floor. We'll take one more breath here. And slowly exhale. Bring your hands to the outsides of your thighs. Bring your knees together, soles of your feet on the mat. Cross your left leg over your right leg. Open your arms wide. Turn your palms to face up. And take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, slowly take both knees down to the right. And turn your head to the left. If it feels like too much to have your knees crossed, uncross your legs and then bring both knees down to the right. Okay, inhale. Exhale. Slowly bring your knees to the center and uncross your legs. Cross the right leg over the left this time. And then slowly bring both knees down to the left. As you turn your head to the right. With every exhale, try to press your right shoulder down into the ground. Moving a bit deeper into the twist. Slowly bring your knees to the center, uncross your legs. Bring your knees in towards your chest, wrap your arms around your shins, give yourself a squeeze. And then we'll move into Shavasana. Extend the legs straight out onto the mat. Maybe mat width or slightly wider. Extend your arms down alongside your body and turn your palms to face up. Okay, relax the ankles, let the feet fall out to the sides naturally. And take a deep breath in. And release. Once more, inhale. Exhale.